If you've been told that manifesting a business, manifesting a dream job, manifesting money online and making money online is effortless and always flowy, then you've been sold a lie. And this is an illusion that a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, including myself, have faced. And I've literally fixed this, okay? And it can be so fucking easy to fix if you know what the fucking issue is in the first place. And no, you're not lazy. I know this title is You're Not Lazy because you think that you're lazy because you cannot see the subconscious block of what the actual situation is. And I'm going to help you understand what is exactly blocking you, what's making you feel like you're lazy. Ooh, Mike. What makes you feel like you're actually lazy, but in fact you're not. You're simply blocked. And once you discover how to unblock yourself, this is going to be so much fucking fun for you because you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm on a roll. So let's get into it. Being spiritual, first of all, okay, before I dive into it, and this is how I want to, hang on. Okay, thirsty. Being spiritual seems to be this thing where people in the spiritual communities feel like they bypass discipline, they bypass effort, they bypass everything that's required to actually build a business because they're spiritual and because we just manifest it. But manifestation in itself, if you actually study the laws and not just keep scrolling on stuff, right? Manifestation requires inspired action. We need the action. Now, when you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm lazy, oh, I procrastinate, oh, I can't be bothered, blah, 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 it's because you might have bought into this belief system that it has this spiritual aspect, right? That it gets to be easy, it gets to be effortless. If it's not effortless, then I'm not in alignment. But that's so far from the truth. And I'll tell you why. The most powerful people, the most successful people, I always give Aaron Doughty, Victor Odo, these two humans as my example because I absolutely love them. I adore them. My whole spiritual awakening journey, I went through their YouTube videos and I was just like, right, this is giving me so much more sense, so much more knowledge, so much more wisdom. And they poured into their channels. They were showing up every single day. You would think that Aaron has made it to like 1 million followers or more than that he could just stop showing up. Does he still have videos pouring out right now today? Go and check him out, Aaron Doughty, right? He still shows up today. Victor Odo, same thing. He's got like over, 300,000 subscribers or something. I know it's not about the subscribers, but this is impact. They're making an impact. They're here. They're sharing their mission. They're sharing their wisdom. They're sharing their voice. That's what we're here to do as spiritual entrepreneurs. We're here to share our vision, our mission, our impact. But you cannot do that if you're sitting in this block and this limiting belief of spiritual business, making money online gets to just be easy and effortless. Yes, it does. If you build your systems in place, if you show up in place every day, but if you're not even being visible, well, that's the bare minimum of business. The bare minimum in your business, you have marketing. Content is your marketing. You have to market yourself because you are the mission, the impact that's in your coding, that's in your aura, that's in your frequency. So if you are not pouring that frequency out, nobody's going to know about it. You're going to be the best kept spiritual secret. Okay. So I want you to be the best known, the most known, the well-known spiritual, not so secret. And in order to do that, you have to move past this block. So I've written my notes here as always. So, like I said, you're not just lazy, you're carrying blocks that drain your flow. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of this on my story. So I used to make excuses for myself because I bought into this belief. So number one, if you are feeling lazy, if you're procrastinating, one, it could be perfection. It could be perfection where you're like, everything has to be perfect. I have to have the right equipment, blah, 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 before I show up. That again is a limiting belief. You absolutely do not need to do that. I've grown my TikTok to over 12,000 with the old camera. This is my new camera now, but I had a shitty old S8 Plus I was filming on, and now you can tell the difference between it because it's so much of a drastic difference. But I grew my following. I made an impact. I made money online from a shitty freaking camera with no mic even. I invested in these Rode mics after the money started pouring in. Okay, so again, these are limiting beliefs, but if you have bought into this mindset of the spiritual flow and this woo-woo feminine space where the feminine business teachers will just be like, you just need to relax, you just need to manifest, you just need to this. Those are all parts of the puzzle. They're not the entirety. You need the entire thing. Parts of the puzzle are, yes, femininity, it's being, it's receiving, it's healing, it's doing all of that work. That requires discipline on another level. And that's the main part of the work actually that I should say you need to be doing. And that's why your energy right now is blocked because you maybe not be doing the energy work with the block that you need to actually release, right? And that can be mindset work as well because mindset feeds your energy as well. So if you have a belief, now you can go and reflect on this as to what your specific block is. But as an example, I'm going to give you my block. I use human design as a blocker instead of as a tool of empowerment. Now, there are two sides to every coin, right? So in this video, I want to just show you that everything that you are using as a block right now is going to be the opposite of that very thing, that very tool that's going to set you free. That's going to be your empowerment. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this. So, for example, in human design, I'm a projector. As soon as I learned that I was a projector, all the projector teachers that I found in my reality at that time, 2 years ago now, were teaching it from a space of projectors don't have energy. Projectors are just here to be lazy. Projectors are just here to guide through their voice, like all of the things, right? And automatically, because I was pouring into learning about that human design part of my chart, because I kept hearing, oh, projectors are this, projectors don't have energy, projectors, that started to build into my psyche, where I started to give myself excuses as to why I shouldn't be showing up online, as to why I can take 6 months off and be like, I'm going to go chill now because I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it. And I used to make excuses as to why I shouldn't be doing something, because it's very easy for the ego mind to come in and go, yeah, don't do that. It's scary anyway. It's scary being visible. And a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs have this fear of being seen, fear of being truly seen. So what the psyche does, your subconscious will do everything in its power to keep you safe. Safety looks like not being seen, because that's all you've known, right? You learned to hide your truth. You learned to hide your light because it protected you and your culture and your family and society. But now, when it's time to build your mission, your impact, your vision, your business online, you need to do the opposite. You need to flip the script. But if your subconscious is working against you, that's where the block is. Okay, so instead of making excuses and allowing those excuses, now you are aware of this. Now you can reflect and go, okay, where am I telling myself the story that I'm lazy because of this, and this? That's where we need to switch. That's the block that is keeping you stuck. You need to now empower yourself with the opposite. Okay, fine, you feel lazy. Maybe you don't have as much energy. So for me as a projector, I don't actually have the energy. Like, I know myself. I can go for about an hour filming like this, max. And then even my voice needs a break, because my voice will start to go dry and croaky and all of this stuff, and I'll start to feel tired. So I know my limits. Test your limits, know your limits, and then embrace the strengths of yourself, because every single one of us is unique. Every single one of us has a unique energy blueprint. I always say footprint for some reason. Anyway. So you can always use that to your advantage. So the way I use it to my advantage is I know I have consistent access to my throat chakra and my G center, which is my identity. So I will always speak whenever it comes to content, things in my business that need to keep my business running. It's all about my voice. So even when I create my offers, when I teach, it's always more focused heavily on voice, talking, speaking, communicating, connecting, writing. All of those things. When I teach reflector clients who come into my one-to-ones or my business spaces, I will always guide them to doing things their way, in the sense of, if on the day they wake up, they are mirrors, right? They don't actually have any space inside of them that's defined, which means they don't have constant access to any part of themselves. But even when you're open, you get to borrow energy and mirror that back. So even when they are mirroring, they can literally pick up something on their phone, mirror off of somebody's energy that's good, taste that, sample that, get wisdom off of it, and then share that. And it can only take 5 minutes. So short form content, even the long form, they can do it, but they have to decide how much they can do. So again, it's an experiment, right? So this works for every human design type, but we make excuses as to why we can't do it. That becomes our block. So when you are listening to teachers in the online space, when you are listening to anyone, including myself, decipher what is true for you. Really think on a deeper level, because a lot of people just collectively get into this hive mind, and hive mind is simply when you start to believe the collective consciousness just because you've overheard it. Repetition is literally what your subconscious mind feeds off of and becomes your dominant frequency and vibration. So if you're not careful of what you're pouring into your mind, that's where this sudden belief of, I'm lazy, I just can't do it, because you might be learning from people like Alex Hormozi, for example, in the business space. They are constantly on. They are generators. If you're not a generator, they're going to make you feel lazy, because you're going to be looking at him and he's telling you to churn out 40, 50, 60 DMs a day. And you're just like, what? Yeah, I definitely don't have energy from that, because that's not my business model, because it doesn't align with my soul blueprint. But for some generators, that will be the perfect fit. That will be the perfect mold. this is where deciphering, okay, just because you took on business knowledge from someone who is successful doesn't mean there's another projector over there, Mark Zuckerberg, who's another projector. Jeff Bezos, owner of Amazon, he is a projector. These projectors are creating big systems in the world. They're creating multi-million-dollar companies, but again, they've done it their way. They could be in their little hub, one-to-one, doing their thing, and it works in their energy field, right? So again, you have to really look at where is it that you are blocked, where you are using an excuse as to why you're lazy, and where you are consuming that information that makes you feel that way, and instead go in and swap the energy and swap that statement of I'm lazy. No, you just haven't decided to be disciplined enough to go after the goal that you want. Now, I'm going to give another example of this, right? Because when you really, really want something, and you are chasing it from that space of there is no plan B. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Like the way that I did this is, again, I have been doing content for about 5 years. I literally was just like, I keep doing this thing where I keep showing up for 6 months and then I disappear for a couple of months, and I keep showing up and then I disappear. So this time I was like, no, I'm not going to disappear. Why do I keep fucking doing that? Number one, it was because I kept showing up in the way that the generators had taught in the world of, you have to post 3 fucking times a day. You have to post 5, 6, 10 times a day. I was feeling burnt out by it. I was like, I don't feel inspired by it. How can I just show up? I don't want to force it. It just feels unaligned. So I was like, okay, how can I find a way to show up creatively inspired every single time? And then I created a way to do that, right? So what I've done now is I had to get clearer on my mission. Because I wasn't clear on my mission, why I was doing it as deeply as I needed it to be, I keep coming back to my why, right? I've done a video on this before, how to build your business in 2025. And in there, I dive deeper into your why. It has to be a big piece. And sometimes you need to come back to it to remind yourself, because we're all humans. We all forget and we get caught up in the world around us, and then we get lost. Okay. So it's very, very important to go back to your why. When you find your why, so for me, it was like, I need to help my spiritual entrepreneurs to build the success, to build the wealth, to build the riches, to build their businesses so that they never have to outsource their power that they carry within themselves to anybody outside of themselves, because they know they've got their own backs. They know that the universe has their backs. They don't have to live in poverty mindset. They don't have to live in their culture, their family, their environments that are toxic, the countries that are toxic, or whatever their issue is, right? And that's my biggest why. As well as, I have 2 whys. My son growing up having all the wisdom, all the tools that he needs in case something happens to me. I am leaving my legacy behind mostly for him. He's got all the good shit that he needs. He doesn't need to get lost in the world because he knows his mama's voice is right here. So find your why, because when I found that why, I was like, okay, no more fucking around, Janie. You have to keep showing up, because the work's not going to get done if you keep hiding away every 6 months and then you drop dead tomorrow. Your child's not going to have everything that you are carrying in your wisdom, in your aura, right? So when you find that why, like, again, going to the gym, when you set yourself that goal, right? Every January, most people will set this goal. I want to lose weight. I want to do this. By literally like February, March, most people have dropped off the bandwagon. Some people, the 1%, will continue all the way to the end of the year and the year after, and they'll hit their goals, and everybody will see their transformation going, how did that happen? Oh my God. And it's like the grind. They put in the work. They put in the effort. They were disciplined every fucking day. They show up at the gym. They make sure they don't stuff their face. Again, with your business, if you make that choice and you have no plan B and you're like, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do the right things in your business, not the wrong things, because again, everybody can get lost in doing all this stuff that they think is what they need for their business, when in reality you don't. You literally just need to show up, share, and create a product and an offer. That's how simple it gets to be if you really want to build a simple business. But again, you are not going to know this if you are living from a space of lack, if you are embodying a frequency of lack, scarcity, mindset, energy, okay? And this can trigger the fuck out of some people if they're not ready to hear it, but this is the truth. I've been there. I've been living that scarcity mindset for such a long time. Something shifted the moment that I decided to go all in, and I was just like, that's it. Like, my business needs this. My child needs this. My legacy needs this. Everything needs this. And that has disciplined me more than anything, in the way that discipline doesn't even feel like it. It's like, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like joy. It feels like empowerment. And in fact, now when I go on my morning walks, they're my abundance walks, right? I call them my abundance walks. And this is for my weight loss as well as my business. I do 2 in 1. Pardon me. Ooh, burping a lot. But literally every time I go on this walk, it's almost like if I don't do the walk, I'm doing a disservice to me, because I'm like, I love the walks now. It makes me feel so good. And when I don't do the walk, it makes me feel the other way. Whereas before I set the why of why I want this dream body, why I want my dream whatever, it was like, eating food feels better, because I was making excuses, because I wasn't as serious about the why. Why am I doing this? You need to get into the root of your why for every goal that you set yourself, because that is what will keep you staying there longer. If you don't have a big enough why, you might be better off in a 9-to-5 job for your spiritual entrepreneurship journey. Okay, so really, really dive deeper into, do you really have a solid mission? Is there something that's an emotional tie that keeps you in this fucking game? Because I'll tell you what, you know, when you hit those gym goals, like you get the body, after that, if you stop going to the gym and stop doing that very thing that got you there and those results, you can find yourself easily back into the same spot, right? So even after you get the thing that you're wanting, the goal, the achievement of that dream body, you have to keep at it. You have to keep maintaining that level of fitness and that body that you've now achieved for it to stay the way, right? But maintenance and building are two different seasons. They feel very different. So when you are first getting off the ground with your weight loss, everything feels hard. Your muscles are tired and more sore because they're not used to it. You're learning new programs. Your mind is tired. Your body's tired. You're starving because you're suddenly shrinking your stomach with the calories going down. Like, all these things are happening. And you're like finding it really, really difficult because it's growth, it's learning, it's all of this stuff, right? Once you hit your body, it's been a year or 2 years of a transformational journey where you have built habits that are now your dominant vibration. So you're just cruising along. It doesn't feel as hard. You're just doing the thing because it's who you are. This is the exact same process for your business journey, for your entrepreneurship journey. In the beginning, you're learning all of this stuff. You're like, oh, marketing, sales, content, money, energy of money, frequency. What are all this stuff? How do I do this? How do I set it up? Which platform to choose? Blah, blah, blah. It feels harder because you're learning and you're growing, and you're learning and you're growing. And then you'll reach a certain income in your business. You'll reach a certain level. And then everything suddenly starts to feel easy. You're like, oh, I know this. It's just a cycle. Now it's just an up and down, and we're evolving and like maintaining, and then up and down, and then evolving and maintaining and up and down. But until you reach that initial first goal that you have, it will feel a bit harder. The beginning and the start of the journey is always the hardest bit. Maintenance, obviously, yes, you need mindset for that. It's more about mindset, leadership, staying consistent, being more disciplined, more focused, and doing all those things. Yes. But it is hardest when you're first starting off. After that, you've got most of the skill set to keep you there. You just need to keep bridging the gap between the next level and the next level and the next level. So you are not lazy, my beautiful soul. You just have a block. Start shifting it. Really work on that root chakra as well, because the root is the energy center that carries everything around survival and scarcity. So if you feel like you are creating from that space of, I need to do this because I'm not going to have money otherwise, or I need to do this. And like, need is a very different energy from want. When you need love, you need a partner, you need a soulmate, you don't manifest the right person to you. And trust me, this is coming from someone who took 15 years to fucking manifest my fucking soulmate, because I couldn't understand this energy for the life of me. And then suddenly, snap, boom, understood it. 2 weeks later, my soulmate manifested in right there, right? But again, it was not the energy of needing. I didn't need him. That's why he showed up. I wanted a soulmate, and that's what I declared to the universe. I was like, that is it. I have high standards. I have high hope. Not hopes. It wasn't even hopes. It was just, I know what I fucking want. It was high standards, and I'm not settling for less than I deserve. Boom. Soulmate came in. Same thing with the business. It's just like, I am not settling for anything at less than what my mission is here for now. I know who I am. I'm crystal clear clarity in like who I'm serving. I'm only serving the fucking heck out of spiritual entrepreneurs, helping them build their fucking businesses in the way that's aligned for them, making them successful as fuck, because that is literally what my soul is calling me to do. That is all I'm here for. I'm not doing anything else outside of that. And that is it. And that's literally that energy that then pulls in the right people to you. I've had so many spiritual entrepreneurs just coming and joining my spaces, my programs, my one-to-ones, all of that good stuff, right? That can only happen when you're crystal clear clarity on your vision, your mission, your why, and when you are taking inspired action on it the right way from the right energy center. Again, I have my I have my free mindset spaces that you can come into. The link is in the description box below. And I also have a new space of one-to-one diagnoses where I can actually pinpoint whether you've got a mindset block, whether it's an energy block, which chakra block it is, all of these good things that will come through one of those sessions. So again, if you want that and you're not clear and you want to get clearer, I have all the stuff dropped in the link below. So you can go check it out and grab one of them if you feel like. And the rest of you, if you're new here, subscribe, like, mwah.